Hey kids, it's the Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. And welcome to another bike review here on the channel. It's an absolutely glorious day to be riding. Sun is out, blue skies, all is well with the world. And all is particularly well with the world because I'm on one of those bikes that just puts a grin on your face immediately, even before you jump on it. Today the bike I'm going to be reviewing is the Honda Monkey. Stick around and stay tuned, I'll tell you all about it. Alright, what a cracking little mini bike this is. It's one of Honda's mini bike range. They make this, the Dax and the Grom, of which more we'll talk about later. But today it's all about the Monkey bike. A bike that first saw the light of day in Japan in 1961, would you believe? It was developed as a sort of a fun bike to be used in amusement grounds in Japan, but it was such a hit, Honda decided to actually make it into a road bike, and a couple of years later the Monkey as a road bike was born, and of course since then it gained very much a cult following. The bike I'm on today is a brand new bike, 2023 model year. Let me show you around it and point out some of the features and design cues on here.
So here she is. Cute little thing, don't you think? I mean, it is kind of a comedy bike. You see what I mean about it putting a grin on your face before you even get on it? I mean, it just looks hilarious, doesn't it? Let's have a little closer look at some of the features of it then. First thing I really like is its kind of retroness. I love, for example, this old style Honda badge that's on here, which harks back presumably to the original Monkey bike. It's got HM written there, which I assume stands for Honda Monkey. The original bike, as I say, in those amusement parks in 1961, then hit the roads in Japan in 1962. So yeah, love that, love the retro styling. I'm not entirely sure about the looks of that seat. I mean, it has to be big, obviously, to actually take a full-size backside, and it's very, very comfortable. I'm not sure about the tartan on that either, but I'll leave that up to you. That's just a matter of taste. Let's go front to back then. The little old wheels on here, we'll talk about those more later, but as you can see, they've got kind of sort of almost knobbly tyres on there, which is almost encouraging you to take the bike off-road. It's got a high-level mudguard on the front as well, which again makes you think that perhaps this is intended as sort of a scramblery type model. The lights on here, all LED, so nice and modern there. The fit and finish on this is beautiful. The welding and everything about this is pure Honda. It's really, really nice. Here's the little engine. We'll talk more about that later, but it's got, in terms of its spec, but amazing chrome finish on there. Again, everything just looks top quality on this bike. The exhaust on here, again, it's almost a caricature, isn't it, of a scrambler style exhaust, but lovely chrome work again, and beautiful quality. Coming around the back end, another chromed mudguard, more LED lights as well. That massive seat with Honda emblazoned across the back of it, so it's no doubt that it's a Honda Monkey. On this side, without the exhaust, you've got the Monkey moniker on there. And yeah, it's just a really, really cute little bike, I think. I mean, it's up to you whether you think you would feel quite comfortable riding this. I quite like the ridiculousness of it, and that's part of its appeal, I think.
Okay, so much for what she looks like. How does she ride? Well, in a word, very good. From a comfort point of view, it's got a massive padded seat on here, which is really comfy. It's quite small. If there were two of us on here, there wouldn't be a lot of room. It's really a one rider only type bike. In terms of the riding position, hopefully you can see on my 360 camera, my legs here are at a slightly acute angle. Not quite a right angle, but it's a very comfortable position. I do feel that this bike is a little bit smaller than the Dax that I rode previously. If you didn't see my review of the Dax, I'll put a link in the corner. Go and check that out. Not now, after this video, but check that out at some point. Even though the Dax is one of these mini bike family, I found that felt a bit bigger. This does feel like you're riding a smaller bike, and that your hands and your knees are closer together. So yeah, not quite so stretched out. So if you're a bigger person, you may struggle a little on the Monkey, and the Dax might be for you, but it is a very comfortable place to be. Handlebars are sort of this Mini 8 type design again, so that I guess, you know, they come up and meet you as a full-grown adult on such a small bike. So no problem with comfort at all. You could ride this all day long and you'd be absolutely fine. Handling down here, this is one of my favourite little testing roads. It's a very bumpy road, but actually it feels absolutely fine. Let me show you the suspension on here.
So the suspension on here, super basic really. On the front here we've got these upside down forks. They're got 100mm travel on those. And on the back we've got this really good looking twin shock setup, and they've got 102mm of travel.
Alright, so much for the suspension. What are the brakes like? Well, there's nothing behind me. Let's just try the front. Wow, it's very good, that front brake. And then nice and progressive actually, good feel to it. And then the rear brake, yeah, not too bad. Usual motorcycle rear brake type fare. Let me show you those. So here we go, here's the brakes on the front. That's a 220mm disc, and you can see the ABS ring on there, and that's again a bit like the DAX. It's IMU controlled ABS, and that's not because it's got lean angle sensitivity or anything, but that's more to do with stopping the rear wheel lifting up on heavy braking. You can see it's got 2-pot caliper there, badged Nissan on the front as well. On the rear you've got a 190mm disc and a single pot Nissan caliper. All right, back on board. Let's see what the engine's like then. I'm winding her up now on full throttle. 5 gears on this, so up through the normal manual gearbox. Full tilt. I'm running out of road, but at the moment I'm doing 53 miles an hour, and it seems to be topping out around about there. It is building up 54 now, 53 again. So it seems, with me on board, I'm between 11 and 11.5 stone, 5'8", sort of medium-sized individual. Seems like it'd top out around about 55, 56 miles an hour. Perfectly adequate for these sorts of roads, but not something you'd necessarily want to be on a dual carriageway with. The engine on here, 124cc. Let's take a look at it. So it certainly looks good, the little engine on this. It's an air-cooled 4-stroke 124cc single, as I mentioned. It's the same as the one you find on the Grom and on the DAX. It's got 6.9 kilowatts of output. I did a bit of maths, and I reckon that's 9.25 brake horsepower. So it's not going to win any races, this one, unless it's just a monkey bike race, of course. What else to say about it? Torque, 11 newton meters of torque at 5,000 RPM. It's a cute-looking little unit, and I have to say, it goes really well. So that engine may be a compact little unit, but and not particularly powerful, of course, in terms of the numbers, but actually it feels pretty sprightly. I'm used to riding full-size 125cc bikes. They usually put out something like 12, 13 brake horsepower. This one's a bit down on that, as I say, but it actually feels a bit more sprightly, and that might be down to its light weight. So the weight on this puppy is only 104 kilograms wet, would you believe? So super duper light. A little bit too heavy to lift up maybe, but yeah, light bike at 104 kilograms, fully fueled. So yeah, don't be put off by the fact that the engine on paper is down on power. It feels, I would say, more sprightly than, in brackets, normal size 125s. When you're coming around the corners like this, you can feel the limitations of those small wheels slightly, in that it feels, you know, quite, well, I don't know what the word is, I suppose maybe skittish. It feels like it wants to tuck under a little bit on you, a bit like you get the same feeling you get on like a Vespa or a scooter with small wheels. Just a matter of getting used to it, of course, because I'm used to riding full-size motorcycles. But it is, of course, with that light weight, it is very, very agile. Great fun. I mean, smiles guaranteed on this. I can already tell you, I prefer this for some reason over the DAX. I prefer the looks of it, and also I prefer the fact that it's got a conventional gearbox. What I don't like about this so much is the display on here. I hope you can see it, because the sun's behind me at the moment, means it's lighting it up. It's a grey on black display. You can see at the moment, hopefully you can see it, saying I'm doing 48 miles per hour. It's got a fuel gauge at the top, which is great, an odometer at the bottom, which is all you need really, isn't it, on a bike like this? But what I don't like is when you come into dimmer areas like here, look, you can barely see it. You're struggling, or I'm struggling now to read that. You know, although it looks cute, it's not actually that practical. In fact, that's the same instrument as is fitted on the DAX, and I had the same criticism on that. Oh, the DAFs are out, look at this, beautiful day. In terms of what else you're looking at on the bike, well, very simple switch gear. Starting and stopping the bike's taken care of over on the right, and then on the left you've got the lights and the horn, and that's it. The horn and indicator are the wrong way round as ever, as Honda always does. Let's try the horn. Little high-pitched horn, quite cute. Mirrors on it are the Mickey Mouse style, quite stalky. These are exactly the same, I think, as the ones on the DAX as well, although they don't tend to vibrate quite as much, oddly. I found the ones on the DAX vibrated a bit, these don't. Well, not so much anyway. I can see behind myself absolutely fine on the right hand one. This left one I've struggled a bit more to get use out of, but they're okay. So these sorts of bikes, of course, as I say, have gained themselves a bit of a cult following over the years. So there are people that are absolutely maniacs about monkey bikes, and part of the reason of that, I guess, is you can absolutely thrash the pants off them and have a lot of fun on them, you know, without going silly speeds. People do a lot of customization on these, and there is a massive fan base for the monkey bike. If you're not in that category, if you're not quite so monkey anarchy, where would this bike fit in? Why would you want one? Well, certainly if you're in the urban environment, great fun. Nipping through traffic would be very easy, although your conspicuity wouldn't be necessarily that great, so you know, you might feel a little bit vulnerable if in the middle of London, amongst London buses and stuff. Might feel a bit vulnerable on this, but great for nipping around town otherwise, because these things, of course, would be super frugal.
And the reason why it's super frugal is because this thing absolutely sips fuel. Honda say, according to their figures, it'll do 100 miles to 1.5 litres. The tank capacity itself on this is 5.6 litres, so by my calculations, that's 373 kilometres per tank, or 232 mile range, which is pretty flipping excellent on a bike like this.
So super cheap bike to run, so if you're interested in cheap transport, then this is an option. The other sort of use case that strikes me with these is, again, as they did when these first came out in the 60s and the 70s, they were picked up by RV enthusiasts in the US, people with recreational vehicles, camper vans. They were the ideal motorcycle to put on a little trailer behind your camper van and give you some mobility when you're out at the campsite. And that holds true to this day, of course. If you've got a camper van, this would be the perfect bike to tow behind it and give you some local transportation. The gearbox on here, by the way, is absolutely lovely. Nice and light. The clutch on here, lovely and light. And entirely conventional. Again, another difference between this and the DAX is this has a conventional gearbox and clutch, whereas the DAX had a centrifugal gearbox and a heel and toe arrangement that I didn't really ever get on with, to be honest, whereas this perfectly easy to ride, nothing difficult about it whatsoever. What's going on here? I think we're stuck behind some cyclists. Right, quickly nip by. Talking of camper vans, there is one, look. If it had a tow bar, towing one of these behind it would be perfect. So, to my sort of summary then, likes and dislikes on the monkey bike. I absolutely love the way this thing looks. I like its retro comedy style. I love its comfort. The riding position is very good indeed. I love its frugality. I love the nippy engine on here, which on paper doesn't seem like it would be nippy, but because of its low weight it is nippy. And I love the build quality as well. It's got all of Honda's build quality on it. It's a beautifully made thing, it really is. Dislikes I'm struggling about, actually. I guess the way the little wheels feel does make the handling feel a little bit odd when you're used to a full-size motorcycle. Other than that though, I'm struggling to find anything I don't like about the bike. So what else is there to know about this machine? What have I forgotten?
So one very important thing that I've forgotten to tell you, of course, is the price of this bike. According to the Honda website, this one comes in at £4,049. For comparison purposes, the DAX is £3,749. In terms of colours, it comes in this sort of white and red colour, or a grey one. If you take a look at this picture, I think the grey actually probably looks a little bit better. Then the only other thing to mention is the key on there. It's got a little feature, a little answer back feature. I'll show you. If you pull this out, you see this little little remote here. If I press the button on the bottom here, to take my glove off, it's got an answer back button. So if you parked in, say, a multi-storey car park, look, I pressed it, and it makes a little bleeping noise so that you can find the bike in a car park. So just a handy extra little feature.
All right, welcome back aboard the bike then, and welcome to a beautifully sunny Wendover. Lovely little town here in the heart of the Chilterns. I think it's one of the highest towns in the Chilterns actually in terms of its altitude. Just ahead you can see some hills. That's Wendover Woods up ahead, and they are the highest point in the Chilterns. Definitely worth visiting if you ever come to this area. Lovely little spot. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the kit I'm wearing today, I always get asked what this jacket is whenever I'm riding. Stick around to the very end of the video and I'll do one of my little fashion segments. I'll talk you through all the kit I'm wearing from top to toe, just in case you're interested. That's after the titles at the end of the video. Well, looks like I'm stuck behind a camper van for the rest of the day. Can't get rid of him. Anyway, not to worry. Anyway, so that's it. That's my first impressions review of the monkey bike. Absolute grim machine. I really like this one, actually. I have to say, so far this is my favourite of the mini bikes. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you're interested in the mini bikes, do stick around to the channel, because I've got a review coming up of the Honda Grom, and don't forget I've already ridden the Dax. And if I get a chance, I'll try and do a little sum up of all three bikes, comparing them against each other as well. So stick around and stay tuned for that video. In the meantime, if this is the first time you've been to the Missenden Flyer, thanks very much for watching the video. Do hit that subscribe button down below. I don't just do bike reviews here on the Missenden Flyer, but I do bits and pieces about looking after your bike in the garage. I do trips and tours at home and abroad. I do a monthly bike news feature. Basically, everything to do with motorcycles. I try and cover it here on the Missenden Flyer. It'd be great to have you along, so do hit that subscribe button, as I say. Alright, that's it for this time though. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio.
Alright, thank you very much indeed for sticking around to the very end of the video, and it's time for my fashion segment, because I know I'm going to have loads of people asking me what was the kit that I was wearing. Now, let's start with this jacket, because this always gets comments. This is from Segura, and it's called their Nacho jacket. I'll tell you how much it is, stand by. It's £259.99, so 260 quid. It's actually waterproof. It's got armour in the elbows and in the shoulders, and it's got a zip-out thermal liner as well. I think it looks really cool. I wear this off the bike as much as I do on. So that's the Segura Nacho. I'll put a link below to this jacket at Sports Bike Shop, and for full disclosure, the link below is what's called an affiliate link. So if you click on that link and subsequently buy something, I do get a little bit of a kickback. So you'll be helping out the channel, but it's at no extra cost to you. And I must say, I do find Sports Bike Shop service and delivery, returns and all that really good, as are their prices. Alright, so that's the jacket. Let's move on to the helmet. Here we go. This is my splendid, pretty new actually, Schubert C5. Now, I've been wearing the C5 in some form or other for about the last year. You will have seen the white one that I have on my tour videos. This one I've got specifically because it's in a colour called Master Yellow. See, it's got these fluoro stripes, and it matches the rucker jacket that you sometimes see me wear. So I know it's a bit tarty, but that's why I've got the hold of this one. It is a flip front helmet. As the name suggests, you can flip it up like so, and you can actually ride with it open as well. It actually turns out it's a brilliant helmet for vlogging with, but that's by the by, just relevant to me probably. It's really quiet. You can fit a comm system to it, and it complies with the latest specification, ECE something or other. I'll look it up. ECE 22.06. If you want this one in this colour, it will cost you £629.99, but they start off at cheaper prices. The white one is something like 530 quid, something like that. Anyway, there we go. That's the Schubert C5, my current favourite helmet. Oh, link below to that as well. These jeans you see me wearing, you've seen these many times. These are my go-to jeans on the bike. These are the PMJ DEUX jeans, single layer, AAA rated jeans. So the safest sort of jeans that you can get for the bike. These cost £215.98. Again, Sports Bike Shop, link below for those. These gloves you've seen me wearing today, these are the Segura Sultan gloves. They're made of goat skin. They've got these hard knuckle protectors on them, and they're, again, a kind of a retro style. Nice and warm in winter as well. It's although it's a beautiful sunny day today, it's quite chilly. So this jacket and these gloves keeping me nice and warm. Price of these, £75.99. Again, link below. And then last but not least, the neck buff that I'm wearing is my own. It's the TMF neck buff. It costs you £8 if you go to my website, which is www.themissendenflyer.com. All right, that's it for this fashion segment. Hope that helped you out, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Oh, hang on a minute, not so hasty. Just remembered I haven't shown you my boots. These things here are called the Falco Aviators. They're kind of, again, retro style, but again, you can wear them every day. Let me, in fact, pick the camera up. You can wear these as everyday footwear. They're a bit muddy because I'm standing on some mud. What I like about these is that they've got these dual zips here on the front. So to take them on and off, you don't even have to bother yourself with undoing the laces, because you can just pull that bit forward and step in and out, which I think is one of the most useful bits about the boots. I think they look good on and off the bike. Cost wise for the boots, they're Falco Aviators. They come in at £167.97. They've got D30 inserts in the heels and in the ankles as well for added protection. So yeah, that's the boots that I was wearing today. Must give them a clean when I get home. Right, that is it. Speak to you soon.